In 1985, a man walked into a doctor's office in London. He was young, maybe 30 years old. He looked healthy, but he had a problem. He could not forget anything. The doctor asked him, "What do you mean you cannot forget?" The man replied, "I remember everything. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second. I remember what I ate for breakfast on March 3rd, 1972. I remember the color of my mother's dress on my 5th birthday. I remember the smell of the rain on the day I learned to ride a bicycle." The doctor was skeptical. He asked the man to recall random dates. The man did. Perfectly, he asked him to recall random events. The man did. Perfectly, he asked him to recall conversations from years ago. The man repeated them, word for word. The doctor was amazed. He had never seen anything like it. He called in a neurologist. The neurologist examined the man's brain. It was normal. No signs of injury. No signs of illness. The man's memory was not a disease. It was a gift. But the man did not see it as a gift. He saw it as a curse. He said, "Doctor, I remember everything. And I mean everything. I remember every embarrassment, every failure, every rejection, every painful moment. It is all there, in my mind, as clear as the day it happened. I cannot escape it. I cannot forget." The doctor asked, "When did this start?" The man said, "I have always been this way. As far back as I can remember, I have remembered everything. But it was never a problem before. I was a child. The memories were simple, but as I grew older, the memories grew darker. And now, I cannot sleep, I cannot rest, I cannot find peace." The doctor prescribed medication. It did not work. He tried therapy. It did not work. He tried hypnosis. It did not work. The man could not forget. The case became famous. Scientists from all over the world came to study the man. They gave him a name. They called him Patient Zero, the first documented case of perfect total recall. The man became a celebrity. He appeared on television. He gave interviews. He demonstrated his memory in front of millions of viewers, but he was not happy. He was exhausted. He was haunted by his own mind. One day, a psychologist from the United States visited the man. She was a specialist in trauma and memory. She spent weeks with him. She listened to his stories. She heard about his childhood, his teenage years, his relationships, his failures, his regrets. After weeks of listening, she said to him, "I think I understand your condition. You do not just remember everything. You feel everything. Every emotion attached to every memory. That is why you cannot find peace. You are not just remembering. You are reliving." The man broke down in tears. He said, "Yes, that is exactly it. Every time I remember something, I feel it again. The same pain, the same shame, the same fear. I am trapped in a prison of my own making, and I cannot find the key." The psychologist asked him a question. She said, "What is your happiest memory?" The man paused. He searched his mind. He said, "My happiest memory is a quiet evening. I was 15 years old. I was sitting on a hill overlooking the city. The sun was setting. There was a gentle breeze. For a few minutes, I felt at peace. I felt no pain, no fear, no regret." The psychologist asked, "Why do you think that memory is the happiest?" The man thought for a moment. Then he said, "Because it is the only memory where I was not thinking about anything else. I was just there, present, in the moment." The psychologist smiled. She said, "That is your key. You do not need to forget. You need to learn how to be present, how to stop reliving the past and start living in the present." The man spent the next year in therapy. He learned meditation. He learned mindfulness. He learned how to observe his memories without feeling them. He learned how to let go. He never forgot anything. He still remembered everything. But the memories no longer controlled him. He controlled them. In 1990, the man wrote a book. He called it The Prison of Memory. It became a bestseller. Millions of people read his story. They wrote to him, thanking him for sharing his journey. One letter stood out. It was from a young woman in Manchester. She wrote, "I have the same condition. I remember everything, and I thought I was alone. Thank you for showing me that I am not." The man replied to her. He said, "You are not alone. We are all prisoners of our past, but we are also the ones who hold the key. You can choose to live in the past, or you can choose to live in the present. The choice is yours." The woman and the man became friends. They met in London. They shared their stories. They supported each other. They founded a support group for people with extraordinary memory. The support group grew. It became a community. People from all over the world joined. They shared their struggles. They shared their triumphs. They learned how to live with their gifts. The man died in 2015. He was 60 years old. He lived a full life. He never forgot anything. But he also never let his memories control him. In his final interview, he said, "I remember everything. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the painful. It is all there. But I have learned to love my memory because it is not a curse. It is a gift. It reminds me of who I am and where I have been." Now, let me ask you something. What would you remember if you could remember everything? Would you want to? Would you want to carry every moment of your life with you? The man in our story did not choose his gift. It was given to him. But he learned to accept it. He learned to live with it. And in the end, he learned to love it. I have thought about this story for a long time, and I have come to 3 possible conclusions. First conclusion: the man's memory was a biological anomaly, a rare condition called hyperthymesia. It is real. It exists. Only a handful of people in the world have it. Second conclusion: the man's memory was a metaphor. His story is not about memory. It is about the human condition. We all carry our past with us. We all struggle to let go. His story is our story. Third conclusion: the man's memory was a gift, not just for him, but for all of us. He showed us that we can learn to live with our past. We can learn to accept our memories. And we can learn to find peace. I do not know which conclusion is correct. Perhaps all of them are. Perhaps the truth is different for each person. But here is what I do know. Somewhere, out there, maybe in London, maybe in Manchester, maybe in a small flat just a few streets away from where you are sitting right now, there is a man who remembers everything. And he is learning to let go. Because remembering is not the end. It is the beginning. And the beginning is always a choice. That is the story of the man who remembered everything. A story about memory, acceptance, and the power of letting go. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel. I make animated documentaries about strange stories, dark history, and the mysteries of the human mind. Thank you for watching. And remember, the past is not a prison. It is a classroom. And every memory is a lesson. See you in the next video.